Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about. Have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Hello everybody, welcome back to WWE's The
Busy week for everybody. We're getting that much closer to WrestleMania Backlash. Shout out to Beck Carino, big fan of the program. I saw him last night. He's tuning in for what we have is a very big show. Championship unification's going on. Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. We're marching towards that, and a lot more, I'm sure, to come before WrestleMania Backlash.
Of course, and always, as always, we got our own World Ride, what is up? Also, by the way, I'm wearing a Trish Stratus shirt. It is actually out of Ryan's closet, so just want to give him a little shout
Next
out.
door. It's actually it's over there.
Don't reveal that, Kayla. Hey, everybody. A lot going on at WWE. A lot going on at social. A lot going on in the YouTube chat right now. We got Joshua chiming in, Justin, Fabian, Kyle. So many of you. We keep an eye on the YouTube chat the whole time. Get in on the conversation. Speaking of that conversation, hashtag WWE The Bump in the YouTube chat. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, send in fan questions, send in thoughts, comments, anything across the board. We want to hear from you during a big week in WWE. Speaking of a big week in WWE, it is hashtag Orton Week, which is really exciting, celebrating 20 years of Randy Orton the Viper, a special Randy edition of Top 10, Supercut, throwback highlight clips, rare and unseen photos, and more. That's hashtag Chat, get in on today, get in on all of it. Kayla, let's send it back to you.
All right, guys, we are talking about WrestleMania Backlash. We also want to talk about the biggest party of the summer going down, of course, at the end of the summer, and that is SummerSlam. SummerSlam makes its highly anticipated debut at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Those are my old stomping grounds, by the way. Be one of the first to get your tickets by using the exclusive pre-sale code, The Bump, beginning tomorrow, Thursday, April 21st, at 10 a.m. Central. That's Central for all the Eastern, Mountain, and Pacific folks. You don't want to miss the biggest part of the summer, and again, the beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. So listen, we're always looking forward to SummerSlam. And Nashville I went to college in Nashville. Shout out Belmont University. So it's always a really good time. That's where Matt Camp found his love for country music.
Well, hey, listen, it's a great, look, walking around in Nashville is great. I was there about 10 years ago for an event. Almost a surprise to me. You can walk around and have fun leading into the event. You can pop in. There's live music going on. Who knows? With Superstars, might be just hanging out, walking. You might see Kayla. It's her homecoming. They're going to have a parade. Maybe they could have a parade. Nashville is a great place to be, obviously, for SummerSlam, but in the days leading up to it, a place you want to be. And at Nissan Stadium, and a SummerSlam in July. We have to move it up. That's how big of a party it is this year.
So excited. Okay, speaking of excited, I know one person's very excited right now, Matt Camp, because he is a new champion here in WWE. A lot's been going on Monday Night Raw. We have Austin Theory, everybody. What's the adjective I'd like to use from him?
Champion?
Arrogant. Yes, champion, selfie
That's a noun. That's a noun. That's okay.
Wait, no, it's not.
Champion?
I said arrogant.
Champion would be a person, place, or a thing.
Just get Kevin Nash on the line. He'll figure out the adverbs and all that stuff for us. But Theory is the new United States champion, and congratulations to him. He sat with us a few months ago saying he would be a champion. Mr. McMahon, the chairman himself, coming out to raise his hand.
I didn't think it was going to be his time yet for gold.
Really?
I wasn't sure this was going to happen yet.
Well, what struck me about it is that, through everything that happened on Monday, he really felt like it worked and he belonged with that championship over his shoulder. Like, sure, the endorsement from Mr. McMahon is huge, but the moment was not too big for Theory. And that's really big as he goes forward on this reign.
He's had that tough love for Mr. McMahon, right? And he's gone through some ups and downs, and he's learned so many things from Mr. McMahon. But this was, I think, always the thought. I see something in this young man, and now it came to fruition. We know what happened at WrestleMania. You can't have brighter lights than that. Going up against Pat McAfee, kind of helping Mr. McMahon beat Pat McAfee, being involved with Stone Cold. Those are all massive moments, but it led to this moment. He is now the United States.
These seasoned vets that he is in the ring with. He's the happy-go-lucky, selfie-taking Austin Theory that we all, know and love. But when you say he's got a lot of friends that we weren't sure about, those friends will quickly turn against you. If you have the gold, we always know you got the target on your back. So congratulations, Austin Theory. But be careful.
Come back on the bump suit, United States Championship. Now, a championship Austin Theory could be thinking about maybe down the road more, but two men who are thinking about it is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And we know Cody Rhodes was sitting with us a couple weeks ago. That down the pike in just a couple of weeks at WrestleMania Backlash. It is the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins for the second time in a month. And Cody said, yes, we faced off before, but these are two very different men. So, yes, it is Cody Seth 2 coming up at WrestleMania Backlash. And I think, Kayla, you go back to Royal Rumble when Seth went against Roman Reigns. He didn't win that match. He is still thinking about that championship as well, but I also think he knows that he's got to get by Cody Rhodes to end that dream, but also to get himself back in championship contention. That's not being brought up enough.
Yes, and also, when Seth said that Cody had the unfair advantage at WrestleMania, we can't necessarily disagree with that assessment, but also it's kind of what he asked for. He wanted to be on the WrestleMania card. He got it. Beggars can't be choosers, Seth freaking Rollins. But Cody Rhodes also has to understand it's been kind of Seth freaking Rollins' game for a while now. So can he pull out back-to-back premium live event victories? Can Cody Rhodes do that? So I guess
if he does, he has every right to say, I want my chance at that championship. And here's the other thing, Ryan. I think about Seth freaking Rollins being mad at that. At WrestleMania 31, kind of an unplanned night for him when he cashed in and became champion. But he knows this is part of the game. He can say all that stuff. He put Cody in a tough spot on Monday, and Cody passed that test.
I 100% agree with that. The one thing I thought was interesting with Seth freaking Rollins on Monday, though, he's almost always unhinged, and that works for him. He seems upset right now, and I do think there's a difference, and I think especially he will be able to prepare for Cody this time around, but being upset when you're Seth freaking Rollins is different than being unhinged. Unhinged works. Upset, I'm not sure.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It's like, think back to, high school, which I hate doing. But thinking back to high school, when you have the popular kid, and then this new kid comes along who all of a sudden seems to be the more popular kid, it's going to tick you off because, again, this is your playground. Get off your playground. I think that's the upset.
But now we know what this match is going to entail, and it is a marquee matchup, no doubt, at WrestleMania Backlash.
All right, well, let's keep talking about Backlash. And a word that we've been using a lot lately, and that is the word unification. Obviously, we know our new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. He did his thing, and now he's ordering his cousin to be the exact same. He wants championship between the Usos and RK Bro. These are two of the best tag teams in the world. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen. I mean, I can't even make a prediction on this one.
So, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later with Randy, we're coming up on 1 year of RK Bro, but we're also coming up, when we get to WrestleMania Backlash, we're going to be, if obviously nothing happens between now and then, nearly 300 days just in this reign alone for the Usos as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. No one has held those blue championships in all reigns more than them. I said this a few weeks ago on Talking Smack. I said, I think the Usos have had a chip on their shoulder.
Set would be if the Usos were not victorious. Who knows what that would mean for, Roman Reigns' opinion of it.
You would not be happy, obviously, yes.
But, so time will tell. Well, Ryan Popola, I know you're, again, you're scrolling through the internet over there.
Got it all.
Good luck on that.
Let's talk about things. Kayla, I actually agree with you what you just said on the Usos, but a lot happened this week on both brands. We're going to dive in on all of it, starting with Charlotte, Ronda, and Drew Gulak, because here's the thing, this I Quit match is rapidly approaching. New commentary colleagues, kind of much like Kayla Braxton, rushed out to help him in that scenario.
Yeah, sorry, Drew.
I mean, he was...
Come on, Kayla.
Don't take my mic. You're on your own, buddy.
So I saw you in the game and everything. You could have handled it.
I can, and maybe you'll tune into SmackDown this week. We'll see.
Oh, my.
Announcer versus announcer.
The man was... Kayla,
Make it official out of this.
Yeah, I mean... because Reggie and Tozawa were both to try to do quick damage control, because Reggie and both Tozawa tried to become 24/7 champion, with Reggie saying here, I will not be accepting any interviews or answering any questions about last night. It's not what it seems. That, of course, being that he tried to pin his new bride for the 27 championship. Again, a lot happened in a very small amount of time. And then Tozawa here accidentally quoted Shawn Michaels while apologizing.
Maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe he knew what he was doing.
It could have been intentional. That's true. Like, both are feasible. Tamina was having none of it, though. She was happy that Sasha and Naomi were out there with her, but past that, she's still in shock. She couldn't believe Tozawa did that to her. Hashtag WWE The Bump if you have over-unders on how long you think either of these 24/7 title marriages.
To his best friend, one half of RK Bro, Riddle.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm wearing my nice formal t-shirt today. It's a tuxedo t-shirt. You know, I was kind of what year we know.
Oh, do we have a little bad connection there? We got you?
Hey, it's all right. That's all right. No, I think he's all right now. I think we're getting him fixed in. I could tell. It's an exciting time because of what happened, of course, with the holiday, celebrating 20 years of Randy. We're coming off of what was a big-time Raw for these guys. Randy was very fired up, of course, on SmackDown. Riddle got a big victory on SmackDown. And then everything that's going down leading into WrestleMania Backlash. Thinking about that 20 years ago, about this week, Randy Orton made his debut, and now he's going into one of the biggest matches of his career, one of the biggest matches of Riddle's career.
Unification,
and
baby.
They could walk out of WrestleMania Backlash with all of the tag team championship gold. And to me, who would have thought 20 years into his career, Randy Orton could be adding accolades and this big of accolades to his career?
And you know what's funny is, like, I was going to mention this earlier. We were talking about Austin Theory. I feel like when Randy Orton first,
evolution. And there is an evolution, but there's still a lot of the same of what we saw. That absolute raw, unbelievable talent that Randy showed from day one, it's still there. He has gotten better along the way. He's added experience. He's been tag champion and 14-time WWE champion and Intercontinental champion, United States champion, and Royal Rumble.
By the time 2004, 2005 hit, that's only a couple years into his WWE career. He was already World Heavyweight Champion. He was already wrestling The Undertaker at a WrestleMania. Those things happened incredibly quickly, and I think we take for granted just how incredible that transition and that escalation was for the legend.
Paul Heyman as a manager. He gets fired from WCW. Talked about working in the Sportatorium back in the day. That was not Randy Orton. Randy Orton went through OVW, got to WWE, and just kept going up and up and up, whether it be World Heavyweight Championships, Intercontinental Championships. And I think, Ryan, to your point, having those early experiences, being in there with Undertaker, getting to be part of Evolution when he came over to Raw, and Batista, and you find yourself in the ring with people like Edge and RVD, who are also on their way up and going, oh no, not only am I in there with you, I can beat you. And that's just going to only build this confidence. And that's why Randy, those early experiences, for good or for bad, he got thrown in the deep end, and he did not sink whatsoever.
Do you remember your very first thought when you saw Randy Orton for the first time?
Yeah, I went, who is this guy? Because he was kind of fresh-faced, happy, and Ryan mentioned those blue and yellow trunks, but you saw him and you went, that guy's impressive. There's that airport test of when you see somebody, you go, who is that? Randy Orton had that look from the jump. And I honestly think when he got good as quickly as he did, a lot of superstars, Out a couple of these memories that I'd like to share with you and talk about because they're significant to me. And we've brought up The Undertaker. There was an early great experience for Randy Orton, and that rivalry would continue. But let's talk about championships when it comes to Randy Orton, because at No Mercy in 2007, he was 3 years separated from his first world championship, which only lasted 1 month. Well, he would become champion again at No Mercy 2007 as the show began by getting presented the WWE Championship by the chairman. It was championship.
Not everyone would be able to do that in that position. Sure, some people would say he was just handed the title by Mr. McMahon. You have to earn your way to even getting to that moment. He was ready for all the twists and turns of the night. That's why he's one of the all-time greats.
No doubt about it. And before that WWE Championship and those 2 reigns, he would become the Intercontinental Champion while being a part I think Randy's dropkick gets talked about enough. Of many championships, his first singles champion.
Or what made you want to be a bro?
One match that stands out in particular, and I think it was the match that I feel like, he really solidified, even though, he did a lot. I feel like this was the match that really solidified him for me, was his match.
He's got the advantage. You need a match like that sometimes to shut people up and go, oh, wait a minute. There's a
Definitely helped me and helped guide me in the right directions, navigating the WWE universe landscape. Because, sometimes I say things that upset people and other things. I'm not going to get into details, but Randy's been helping me out a lot, and that's why he's like my best bud. Plus, it's just been a easy. You're not going to get what you want right at the beginning. But I think over time, I've earned Randy's respect. And I think, the one thing with any kind of relationship, when one person's down, the other person has to be up. And I feel like with me and Randy, when Randy's having a down moment, I try to bring him up. And even when I'm having a It's me. I'm like, look at that. Hit that arcade. Randy was more excited than me. He was in the ring before the ref even counted 3. So, I feel like we just feel each other's energy. And I feel like the more we feel each other, the more time we spend together, the more natural and beautiful it becomes, And I'm just glad I get to not only experience this relationship.
They are the greatest SmackDown Tag Team Champions of all time. But they went through all of that. And it seemed to set something off in Riddle. And I loved watching it. And you were kind of there laughing as it all went down. What was it like being in the ring when you could just feel, I don't know if it was necessarily anger or excitement or just hey, do you know who the hell I am? Because that's kind of felt like that was the speech that Randy was giving to the Usos.
I feel like that's exactly what happened. The intensity was there. Randy, you don't want to get Randy antsy in the pantsy. Yeah.
Well, we do,
Change the fingers, you're good.
we do got to talk about, what's coming up.
Tis the season. Tis the season, though.
So we're just a few weeks away from WrestleMania Backlash, where you will be, of course, a part in a tag team unification match against the longest-reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. And you both have been on each other's turf for the last couple of weeks. You're victory out of one of them.
The confidence is definitely up, but it's also WWE. You never know what's going to happen next. And when you're dealing with the Bloodline and the Usos, there's a lot of variables. They're not dumb. There's a reason why they're the longest reigning SmackDown tag. Andy have been talking about unifying these tag team titles way before the big dog even said anything. And this has been a goal of me and Randy's for a minute. So it just so happened that the Usos came to our show, issued the challenge, and me and Randy were already ahead of schedule. We were one step ahead, and we were ready to accept because, just like you're saying, this means a lot to the Bloodline. It means a lot to the Usos. But this is one step closer to solidifying RK Bro as one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history.
Right on. On Twitter are claiming that RK Bro is more than 3 letters, and Riddle, with it being Orton Week, with a huge match coming up at WrestleMania Backlash, we just wanted to go to you, the source of all of this, and to clear up this controversy. How do you respond to these critics that are claiming RK Bro is more than 3 letters?
I'll say this, I'll keep it simple. Bro's a one-lettered word. So it's RK, one letter word, bro. It's one syllable, one sound, bro.
Right.
Bro, RK bro. So 3 letters. I mean, it's not rocket science. RK bro.
Interesting, and we're going to see it in these tweets, is that even a year in, the fan support for RK Bro seems to be growing. Even with as much as you've done, as many major wins as you two have had, it really seems like it's growing by the week. Do you feel that? Does the RK Bro momentum and support feel like it's growing by the week for you and Randy?
I will say this. And the crowd goes nuts. And yeah, I mean, it feels good, because when you work hard, you put your time, your soul, your energy into something, and I put a lot of my heart into this relationship, this tag team partnership with Randy, and to see it go from the Thunder and then to finally present RK Bro in front of a live audience and to hear the reaction. And then every week is getting stronger and stronger because a lot of people, they might get a good reaction at first. But I feel like RK Bro this ain't a sprint, this is a marathon. And we're just going up. And we're still going up. I honestly, and even though I love Randy as much as I do, I didn't think Randy would put up with my shenanigans this long. And the fact that he has and we're having so much success, it's
And
it's crazy, you know.
process that he has to go through. What have you learned from Randy as far as when you got to get in the zone, too? Again, we see you as the fun one of the tag team. But again, you mean business when you mean business. So how do you get into the right mindset?
I've always kind of been able to kind of flip a switch. Like even when I would fight back in the day. Flip that switch and go into like kill mode, kind of like an attack dog. Attack dog's all nice and he's like having fun, and then you say the word and he attacks. And now, granted, I need more than a word. I usually need the ring bell to go off, and then I'm ready to go. It's competition time. This is important. And I feel like Randy, though, I feel like Brandy's rubbing off on me.
Yeah.
I feel like before I was a little I'm still goofy. That's but I feel like my goofiness is kind of wearing off, especially with this USO situation. I really and I think right now I'm probably more serious and focused, and I think people have been able to see that on my face and in my body language in my matches lately, because I think this is go time. This is the time, like we said earlier, to take RK Bro from being one of the best tag teams to one of the greatest tag teams that ever graced WWE.
Bro,
So I think you just got to be able to flip that switch. Find the Raw and SmackDown, tag team championships, and we were just the WWE, like the one and only, the official tag team champions. And me and Randy were like, "Oh, that'd be pretty sweet." But you never expect these things to happen, and you never know what's going to happen in the WWE universe with the landscape changing all the time. People doing crazy things. You literally, this is probably the only place I've ever worked where you literally don't know what's going to happen next. So.
Well, speaking of not knowing what's going to happen next, no one knows what's happening next when the RKO hits. It's always out of nowhere, and you have perfected it. Talk about the process of you learning the RKO, and doing as well as Randy does it.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll say this. I don't hit the RKO. Dude, so when he hits an RKO, he has a little more torque, a little more power from shorter range. Well, I feel like I got to do some springboards, or I got to fly through the air. Sometimes an oos will throw me up in the air to hurt me, and I have to counter it into an RKO. So I feel like
their maneuvers in the ring and who's doing them and who shouldn't be doing them. Is that something that maybe you did, and then he was like, hey, wait a minute, man, and then, there was a conversation after that?
So if I'm being 100% honest, I kind of have a tendency of doing things and asking for forgiveness later. Well, I definitely, I was in the moment. I forget the first time I hit it. I'm trying to think. I remember I hit Randy was gone for a little bit. But the fact that we're teaming, I like you. We're basically going to be best friends for the rest of our lives.
Aw.
You can totally hit that RKO whenever you want.
Maybe the
and I
most
was like, oh,
important
Randy,
thing
you're the best.
was that it won you the match, because that was key. Because if it was a kick out there, then it's like, hey, bro, I don't know if you got it. But it got you the dub.
I'll say that. Something that Randy could do, but probably wouldn't do. And that was a top rope springboard RKO, which honestly, I've only hit that once in my entire life before that. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to hit it at WrestleMania, I was just like, dude, it's WrestleMania. Got to do like Catalina wine mixer. Can't hold anything back. He was impressed.
That's the
was
most
impressed.
important
That's
thing.
all that matters. Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
You hit it.
Randy
he was
was
there.
super happy. But and then Randy hit that sweet one on Gable, because I'll be honest, springboard RKO off the top kind of knocks the wind out of you, to be real. But then Gable was gonna hit me with that dive and headbutt, but then Randy came in and hit that RKO.
You did it. I ran into you and you were like, you guys see what I just did? I just hit an springboard RKO. Like, you were very pumped up about that, as you should have been. Maybe the most stupendous RKO of all time. Is that fair to say?
Oh.
I can't say. I mean,
you.
it was definitely that RKO happened on one of the most stupendous nights in WrestleMania history. I don't know if it was the most stupendous RKO, especially with Randy. And and I'll say this: my RKO was pretty sick.
Yes.
It was a sick RKO. But Randy's RKO are like a hot knife through butter. They're just so smooth.
That's a great way to
and like the
describe it.
transition is just so seamless.
favorite qualities, your favorite things about Randy? What makes you like so happy and honored to be a part of RK Bro with Randy Orton? We lost your response. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to give one more time before we bring on our guest of honor why you love Randy Orton the way you do. Because love ain't easy.
You know, I love a lot of things about Randy, but I think the one thing I love about Randy is why probably Randy likes me. I flip that switch in the ring. Randy can flip that switch in and out of the ring. And I feel like the more and more Randy and myself hang out, talk, do our matches, keep entertaining. We seem so different and we look different and we act and talk different. I'm telling you, me and Randy are so alike, it's crazy. And I think that's one of the things, and especially in this business and especially in life, it's hard to find people that you can really like look in the eye and really connect with. Of my whole professional wrestling career, my entertainment career. And, I don't know how to put it into words, but I definitely appreciate everything Randy does. And I also appreciate all the hard work he's done over his 20-year career in the WWE, because that's no easy task. And for him to give me at least one of the Randy's so cool.
All right, Riddle.
He's the best.
Well, again, thank you so much for walking us through all of that. But it is now time to bring on the guest of honor. On April 25th of 2002, we witnessed on WWE television the beginning of one of the greatest WWE careers of all time. That night,
We're getting him.
wait, what just happened?
He's coming back in 1 second.
Awesome.
Somebody hit the lights on him. It happens.
I hear him.
Gotta be careful.
There
There
he
he
is.
is!
I hear voices.
Hey, can everybody see me? Okay, cool.
Randy.
This is there's so much feedback and echo. Like, I apologize doing this from home, but it is an off day. You got me on an off day, so appreciate it. I'm sorry that I'm joining so late, but I saw Riddle on here saying some very nice things about me. That's pretty cool to hear, in all honesty.
Oh,
I'm around a bunch of cool. Oh, is that him? Is Riddle on still with us?
He's still on.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still
fantastic.
here,
What's
man.
up, bro? What's up?
Just chilling, dude. I hope are you enjoying the holidays?
The holidays.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, man, the
it's
holidays
the
are great.
20th.
Well, listen,
Yeah,
Randy.
good.
Oh, it's 420. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. Hey, don't we got a t-shirt coming out or something today?
Oh, I want it.
Dude, we got a sweet t-shirt. I think it's exclusive today. It's tight. You got to check it out.
Well, listen, I know we only
Yeah.
we are very honored and appreciate that you did come on here to talk to us on your off day, Randy. We're in all of what you've accomplished over the last 2 decades. As you heard, Riddle was just going on and on about how amazing you were. So as it is Orton Week, is there anything that you want to say, to the members of the WWE Universe who have followed you and loved you for all this time?
You're talking so fast.
I know.
Because we're about to go off the rails.
Exactly.
I'm just sitting here. I'm sorry, guys. You got to tell the bump producer that I live in St. Louis and we are Central Time. But anyway, if I could say anything to the fans, the last 20 years, man, I wouldn't have had that 20 years if it wasn't for the fans, you know. And at this point in my career, I think it's really easy for me to humbly say that if it wasn't for them, there'd be no Randy Orton. So to the fans, a simple thank you, and you know, continue on this journey with me. I got a ways to go before I hang up. Oh man, do I have any messages for the Usos? Man, I remember when they were teenagers coming up backstage with their dad, and you know, they were all, you know, quiet and humble and bashful, and they were young up and coming superstars. And now you know, I pretty much called it like it was on Monday or on Friday last week. You know, they're a couple of assholes. Got to put them into place. And I think unifying those titles is a good idea, and I think Riddle and I will be the ones to do that, not the Usos.
And one last question. What do you love the most about Riddle? I want Riddle to get this moment real quick.
We got it from his side, but what do you like about him?
What do I like the most about Riddle? Wow. What I like the most about Riddle is how he's allowed me to kind of have a smile on my face in the ring and enjoy what I do for a living more. And that maybe that doesn't sound as big of a deal. Like, that's a huge deal, because I wasn't really having as much fun in the ring as I could have been having, and I needed Matt to kind of come in there and show me what's up. He's a good time. He's a good friend. He's got my back. You know, obviously in the ring we do our thing. That's work, and work's awesome. But like on a personal level, like yeah, we talk when we're off. You know, we talk in the locker room. We're more than just friends at work on screen. We're friends in real life too. And Randy Orton needed a friend.
Well, we are going.
I don't have many friends.
We'll continue talking about how much he loves you. We're going off air. We'll see you on social with the rest of this interview. Randy, thank you so much. Happy anniversary. We'll see you all in a minute.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Keep on, yeah. Don't let them stop you from